Hello and welcome to my July-August newsletter video update. Well, a new financial year has begun in Australia now, and if yesterday's market action is a sign of good things to come, then it will be an exciting new financial year. But of course, I can't predict what's going to happen, and only time will tell. If you missed my last newsletter video, you can view it from my website or my YouTube channel. I have lots to share with you in this video, including an update on my weekly system trades and some new daily system trades I've opened recently. Now, before I get started, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades I share with you are for illustrative purposes only, and I'm just showing you how I view the current market and sharing this with you. So let's head on over to Metastock and check out what the market's been doing over the last few months. On the screen here is a chart of the ASX 200 in a weekly format. Now, the Aussie 200 has been performing very nicely and been continuing to stay in its uptrend. The highs have been getting higher and the lows have been getting higher. And just yesterday, the 23rd of July, it moved higher again. Now, on this weekly chart, it looks like a beautiful uptrend. But if we move over to the daily chart, you'll see that overall the Aussie market has been churning sideways for quite a period of time. It's really been churning sideways since about March here. Then it stepped up a little bit and it's just been trading in this range here. So it has been very flat over the last few months, but we've finally got some movement coming into it now. And if we head back over to the weekly chart, it just looks like normal market action in this uptrend. And if we zoom out, we can see that right now the Aussie market's moving very nicely to new highs, and it's getting up to levels it hasn't been at since 2008. Let's now check out what the S&P 500 has been doing in the US market and see what's been going on over there as well. So here's a weekly chart of the S&P 500, and it's been performing phenomenally well, still continuing that trend that it's in. It broke to blue sky territory, which was its highest point over here, and it broke out last year, and it's continued just to run. It started off in this uptrend channel here and has now increased with a slightly steeper uptrend line in there. But overall, the highs are getting higher and the lows are getting higher, and it's still in this uptrend, and that 30-week moving average is rising and the share price is above it. If we head on over to the daily chart, you can see that it's been clustering around that top of that uptrend line now, but it's certainly been relentless and nothing has been stopping this trend. So now I want to update you on some of my trades. As you know, I predominantly trade two trading systems, and I've regularly been keeping you updated with a couple of my weekly long-term trades that I've had running for quite a period of time. So I'll share with you how they're going now, and then I want to share with you some daily system trades and how the last trades that I shared with you are performing, and some new trades that I've opened recently. So let's head on back over to Metastock now. So on the screen here is one of my long-term weekly system trades that I entered into back in 2012 that I've been regularly sharing with you. And the share has continued to perform very nicely. And like the Aussie market, yes, it did go sideways for a couple of months in here, but my stop loss hasn't been hit, and it's just started to make another new high, which is good news as well. So since the 23rd of July, this is based on my charts as of yesterday, my stop loss was sitting at $54.82. Now, if the share moves and makes a higher close this week, my stop will move higher, but I don't move my stop loss on this system until the end of the week, and I know that it's made a new higher close. So right now, if the stop loss was to get hit, I would have held this trade for 636 trade days. I would make a 59% return on the total trade size, which also includes all these dividends in here and all the additional positions that I bought into it. And I would make just under an 8R multiple. Now that's 8 times my risk size. When I set out to lose a trade, I'm prepared to lose 1R on any one trade, which is my risk amount when I position size the trade when I open it. And now I'm 8 times that in profit. And it's trades like these that make me the big money in the market. So let me close this down. And on the screen here is the other weekly system trade that I've had open, which I opened this year. Now after I opened it, it moved higher very strongly, and my stop loss also moved higher. But it since has then gone sideways, just like the rest of the market. Now it hasn't hit my stop loss, but it has certainly come close to it. Now right now I've had this trade open for over 4 months, and usually in a good bull market I would exit a trade based on a time stop if my stop loss hasn't moved up to break even. Now since the Aussie market has also been churning sideways for that same period, I have allowed myself to give this up to 6 months to see if it performs. So we'll wait and see what happens with this one, and I'll keep you updated in my next newsletter video updates. So let's move on now and check out some of my daily swing trades, which move at a much faster pace than these trades do, but they provide some nice diversification with my trading as well, because these long-term trades, you do have to hold for a long period of time to see the returns there. So I'll just close this down. Okay, on the screen here is a chart of ResMed. Now this is a daily chart, and I shared this trade with you in my last newsletter video update. I entered into this with my swing trading system on the 23rd of April at $5.10. Now it surged dramatically after I entered it. It had fallen very heavily prior to that and had had a beautiful breakout, and then it continued to surge again. I'll just zoom in here and you can see the gap moves. This is the breakaway gap of the new trend starting, and that's a continuation gap. And then this follows an exhaustion gap. Now usually after an exhaustion gap it will do one of two things. It will either go back down or it will pause for a period of time. And in this case it did pause for a period of time and did start to get some resistance here at that 550 mark. Now what I did at this time is I simply tightened my stop loss up tighter. And lo and behold, as it turned out, it did actually burst through and break out. But this time it wasn't able to sustain it, and my stop loss was hit when it gapped down. So overall, I held this trade for a total of 61 trade days. I made an 8.6% on the total trade size. Now as it was a CFD trade, I only had to outlay 10% to put that trade on. So it equated to an 80.6% return on the margin outlay. And it was a 1.7R multiple. So I made just under double my risk amount on this trade. And I also received a small dividend along the way. Now along with this trade I also shared a short trade that I have had open, because while the Aussie market has been churning sideways, I've had long and short trades open in the market. So let me just share that with you now. So this was the other trade that I shared with you, and it had been in a beautiful downtrend. Looks like it's in a bit of a downtrend channel actually if I put this on the chart. There you go. Downtrend channel there. Had been getting support at this price level here just above $4. Then it burst through $4 and started to fall. And it came up in my daily short system here, so I entered into it. It continued to fall lower, little bit of a pullback, then made lower lows again, so all was looking good. But then it had a run up and my stop loss was simply taken out. So I exited this trade 35 trade days later, and it only turned out to be a break-even trade because I entered at $3.62 and I exited at $3.62. So I lost brokerage on this trade, which equated to a 0.2% loss on the total trade size and a negative 2% on the margin. So sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and as long as you minimize your losses. But I can certainly tell you that I'm pleased I got out of this short trade, because look at it now. It just kept on going up, and it would have turned into a much bigger loss if I didn't have my trailing stop strategy in place. And that's why stop losses are so important. Now with the recent market action, I've opened up some nice long trades. So let me share those trades with you now. I'll just close this down. So here's one of the trades that I opened recently. Now I remember opening this trade because we've been away on a trip up to Queensland. And we're travelling between Coffs Harbour and the Gold Coast, which was roughly about a 4-hour trip. So my husband's driving the car and it was getting near trade time, so I opened up the laptop and I ran my scans. And this share came up, which attracted my attention to it. Now the share had already been in a nice uptrend and was right now had had a really nice breakout previously back in May, and then has fallen back and is bouncing off this support area. Now if you don't enter in on breakouts, I always like getting in on pullbacks. It was also near its uptrend line too. So a pullback to support and a pullback near the uptrend line, everything looked good as a retracement trade. So I entered into it. So I've got the kids in the back of the car playing their iPods, I got my husband driving, and here I am trading the stock market. So I bought into this on the 2nd of July at $1.38.5. And right now that trade is still open and active. It's had a bit of a pullback, but it's right now had a very big resurgence. And my stop loss is also moving up accordingly. I just realised I haven't got the stop loss on this chart, so let me just drag that on there for you now. Okay, so there it is on the chart now, and you can see my stop loss has moved up and it's above my buy price now. And look at the big volume spike we had yesterday on that big gap move. That's what I like to see. I always like gaps to be supported by volume. So I'll keep you updated on what happens with this one. Now the last few trade days I've opened up some new trades as well, so let me share 2 of these with you now. Here's a trade that I opened up on Monday. Another beautiful share that's in an uptrend, and what attracted me to this one when I ran my scan was it's in blue sky territory. Look at the chart there. It hasn't been above this level since November last year. And it recently had a beautiful breakout to new highs with some very strong volume, and then it pulled back. So when it actually bounced and it came up in my scan again, I liked what I saw because it gave me that reconfirming signal that that breakout is in place and it's had a nice pullback to support. So I've entered into this trade and it's had a phenomenal move since I've entered into it. So I'll continue to track and update you on this one as well. And yesterday I opened up a new trade as well. So let me show you this one now. Here's the trade that I opened yesterday. So I simply ran my scan yesterday afternoon, which just involves me clicking my daily long system scan, pressing explore, saying OK, and then the report comes up. And I have a look at all the shares in the report, and then this was the one that I chose out of that report. So there was quite a few choices there yesterday, but there was a couple of trades that I was already entered into that are in that report, and this was one that I didn't have a trade on. And what I liked about this trade is there was strong volume supporting the move yesterday, and it had been going sideways for quite a period of time. It has certainly been a stock that has been beaten down very heavily, and if I put a downtrend line on the chart, I just have to work out the best place where it's going to sit on the chart, because you want to take in as much of the activity as you can. So there we go, we're taking in all these highs in here. So it's very much been beaten down and started to go sideways. So you might say this is a bit of a risky trade. This share hasn't been very healthy for a long period of time, but it's not something I would necessarily buy in with my weekly long-term system until it became healthy in the weekly chart. But right now it's having a breakout in the daily chart with a beautiful move and very strong volume. So I'm happy to take a swing trade on this and see what pans out. Of course, I have no idea what's going to happen. It could continue higher and be a very profitable trade. It could completely collapse and I could take a small loss on the trade. But as long as those losses are small, then I'm minimizing them. And as long as I get onto some big winners, then I know I'm going to be profitable. And that's all I can do in the market. And I teach all these strategies in my Smart Trading Plan and System Development course. So I continue to keep you updated on those last 3 daily system trades and my weekly trades in my upcoming newsletters. The market is changing on a daily basis and you just never know what's going to be happening. But the one thing you need to do is to plan. And if you don't have a trading plan, then I suggest checking out my book Smart Trading Plans. I have everything documented in my trading plan as to what I'm going to do when certain things happen in the market and how I'm going to manage a trade from the moment that I open that trade. You can buy that book from my website or in Kindle version from Amazon. And it also comes with a trading plan template that you go to my website and download so you can complete that as you read through the book. And if you want to know more about my trading systems and strategies, that's the Smart Trading Plan and System Development course that I mentioned previously. This is a 12-session online course where I guide you step by step through my trading plan and I provide you with all the codes to my trading system. And if you've got Metastock, you can get it set up to the way I trade. If you don't, then I explain what all the codes to my system means so that you can set it up in the trading software that you use. And I basically teach you how I do everything in the market, what I do each day, each week, each month and each quarter. And it's all about getting inside my head and discovering how I trade the stock market. And each session comes with comprehensive course notes, supporting MP3 downloads where you get to listen to me talking about the stock market and everything I do, and supporting videos where I show you how I actually put all these things into action. You can purchase it on its own, or you can purchase it in training packages where you get extra things like my Smart Trader spreadsheet that I use to track and manage all my trading, Metastock video training course, my ongoing mastermind support membership for a year, where I continue to support you as you learn about my trading systems and put them into action. And this includes a discussion forum and exclusive client webinars. Plus, you can also undertake one-on-one mentoring with me. So you can find out more about that from my website, www.smarttrading.com.au, and have a good look around. And don't forget to download my free special report and get your 10 tips to smarter trading. And if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. My contact details are in the Contact Us area of my website. So goodbye for now.